Previously, I showed you how to use these Shelly 1 relays to unlock the electric strike or to open your garage. These work really nice and so compact. But as I'm adding more Shelly 1 relays around the house, it doesn't make sense to buy these. It makes sense to buy one device with a bunch of relays on it. So today we're looking at this device that has a bunch of relays on it, 4 to be exact. And on your Wi-Fi network, it only takes up one IP address. That should alleviate your Wi-Fi network by 1/4 instantly. Now, if you have even more devices, this comes in 8-channel flavors as well. But for now, we're only looking at 4 channels, meaning it can control up to 4 devices. The board comes with or without the cover. Here you can see that I got the cover and it's about $2 more. The board by itself is about $20. So in total, $22 or maybe up to $28, including shipping. The whole thing is relatively small. Here's a D1 mini for comparison, a number 2 pencil, and a regular size credit card for you to see how small it is. You can power up the whole thing with AC power, 12 volt DC, or even as low as 5 volt DC. For now, I'm powering up via 12 volt DC, just because I have a bunch of these power adapters that I also use for LED strips. The board by itself works perfectly fine. You don't have to do anything with it. But as you can see, there's a bunch of open jumpers right here that you can add more functionality in. For instance, you can add Wigan standard onto it. So you can easily connect this to your keypad or NFC fob with Wigan standard on it. Very nice. You'll see that in another video, but for now we're just going to focus on this 4-channel relay board. On the bottom side, you can connect all of your devices down here. As you can see, the middle one is for common. You can connect the devices via normally close or normally open. Since we're connecting this to an electric strike, we're just going to connect it to normally open. The garage will be also normally open as well. Meaning once you set up this whole thing with Home Assistant and you flip the switch to on, then it will turn the front door to be open or the garage to be open. If you don't know what a relay is, let me go briefly over it. Basically, it's an electronic switch. It can be flipped to the off position or flipped to the on position via software. So when I connect my electric strike to this normally open and the COM pin, that means the circuit is wide open. There's no electricity flowing through the electric strike. Once I use this relay to flip it to the on position via software, it's going to close the circuit, and hence the electric strike is going to open temporarily for me to open a door and enter, or open a door to leave the house. Now, if you buy the unit with the cover, then the cover will come included as installed. Here it is with the cover on, along with the D1 mini chip for size comparison. So yeah, you can see with the cover on, it's pretty tall. Here's another angle for you to see why it's so much taller. Here are the pins that I showed you earlier, and if you add additional wires onto it, then it's going to add some height. So that's why the heights of the cover allow you to add additional wires without any obstruction. Oh yeah, here's another angle of the power supply going into this thing. On the right hand side, this is for AC input, and for this side, this is strictly DC input. The DC can be as low as 5 volts up to 30 volts DC. Here's the back of the unit. I believe you can mount this onto rails to hold onto it, or you can always screw it onto the wall. There's 4 holes in the back to mount it onto the wall if you don't have any rails available. I have no idea what this red thing is right here. If you do, please let me know in the comment section below. Now that we're done with the hardware overview, let's connect to this thing and configure it. So go ahead and go to your Wi-Fi connections. Look for the Athom relay board as seen here. Click on it and connect to it. It doesn't have any internet connection, obviously. And if you're on Android, it's going to ask you, do you still want to connect to this network even though it has no internet? And that's perfectly fine. Now open up any browser and type in this address, 192.168.4.1. Go ahead and choose your home Wi-Fi network. Then enter in your Wi-Fi password. Click on Save. It will now try to jump onto your local Wi-Fi network. Once it's on your network, go ahead and jump to your Home Assistant. Let's go down to Settings, Integrations, and there we go. You can see that's already found. Click on Configure, Click on Submit. Choose the area if you want. This is totally optional. Mine's in the basement, and then click on Finish. Let's go down to Esphome and click on Devices. There we go. It's the Athom relay board. And now you can play around with all of the relays. Every time you click on, it will flip to the on position, and you can flip it back to the off position if you want. By default, this whole thing is self-locking, meaning if you turn it on, it will stay on until you flip it to the off position. This self-locking mode is totally useless for my case because I need it to be working with inching mode. To change it to inching mode, go ahead and click on Esphome, click on Adopt, click on Skip. I have no idea what encryption is, so that's why I'm just going to skip it. And then click on Edit. You can delete this whole YAML code and then paste in the sample code that I have in the link down below. In my sample YAML code, you can jump straight to the Wi-Fi section. Change the SSID to your own local Wi-Fi network. And don't forget to change the password as well. The static IP, go ahead and change it to your local network. I'm using Verizon, so that's why it's 192.168, and the gateway is similar as well. Down on line 54, you can see where all the magic happens. For now, I'm not using relay 1 and 2, so that's why I'm going to skip it. Let's jump straight to relay 3 and 4, which is where the front door electric strike will be installed. And this is where you need the inching code to be inserted in. Turn on, wait for 1 second, and then automatically turn it off. The same thing is for the garage as well. Obviously, if you want the self-lock mode, then don't do anything, just keep it as it is, as seen in relay number 2. Once you're done editing the YAML code to fit your needs, go ahead and click on Install. Once you're done with the bin file, go ahead and connect straight to the chip. I'm using a program named Advanced IP Scanner to find the IP address of the device on my network. If you're using a similar program, then you should see the IP address instantly. You should see something like Athom and then the IP address. Here you don't see the name Athom, that's because I wiped it out already, but I know for sure that this is the IP address 104. So let's open a browser and connect straight to it. 192.168.1.104. Down at the bottom, we're going to update it with the bin that we get from Esphome. Click on Browse. Go to the folder that has the bin that you downloaded, and then click on Update. It's going to update this Athom board according to this bin file that you just updated it. Finally, let's verify that everything is working perfectly fine. Go to Settings of Home Assistant. Go to Integrations. Esphome Devices. Find Athom, which is right here. And there you go. You can see that it's updated to front and garage. If I flip this relay to on, then my electric strike for the front door will open. 1 second later, it automatically flipped to the off position instantly. Very nice. Alright, hopefully you found this tutorial helpful on how to set up your Athom relay board. I really appreciate you guys subscribing to my channel, liking this video, and thanks for watching.